All right, so one of my drop shipping stores has now done over $520,000. But I've made so many mistakes with this store. I wanna dive into the store today, show you all the mistakes I've made, that way you guys can avoid them. What's going on, y'all? I'm Braden, Wuerch. I'm here to provide insane value to you guys every day to grow you personally and financially as well. All right, guys, so just like many of you know, I've done over $500,000 on just one of my drop shipping stores in the last 9 months. But, you know, instead of me going ahead and showing all the good things that I did with this store, you know, we already talk a lot about that on this channel almost every day. We're talking about how to do Facebook ads, how to do, make a brand, all the right things you should be doing. So today, I feel like I can provide the most value by diving into this store, showing you this store, the mistakes I've made with it. You know, I've got 3 big mistakes that I really made with this store, and if you guys can go ahead and avoid them, you can avoid losing a lot of money or missing out on a lot of money like I potentially could have. I made a lot of mistakes that if I could go back and do it all over again, I potentially could have done a lot more with this store. So I want to go ahead and show you what those mistakes are today. First, I want to go ahead and give you the backstory on this store, and then we'll dive in and I'll show you the exact mistakes. So first off, this store is in the apparel niche. So it is a certain niche within the apparel niche. And right off the bat, I already had winning products. And that's because I have a mid-level niche store, which is what I suggest you guys start with, that I actually was using to test to find winning products. So what happened was I found a winning product in a certain niche of the apparel niche. And then so I tested a bunch of others. Once I found a second one, I decided to go ahead and create another store very specific around those 2 winning products. So once I was able to do that, I was able to create a very strong brand, and I was able to go ahead and capitalize on, one, a lot of winning and decent products since they're all in the same niche, and a lot of upsells and cross sells. And that, you know, that made a big part of why this store's been so successful. But the big thing is the brand. You know, I really created a strong brand, but, you know, just like I said, I made a lot of mistakes. So let's go ahead and dive into the computer, and I want to show you exactly what I did wrong. But before we do that, please go ahead and smash that like button for me. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. I'm here every day to help you guys grow your own businesses as well. All right, guys, let's get into it. All right, guys, so as you can see, we've done just over $527,000 in just over the last 9 months. So if you could see what's going on today. So we're having a good start to June. But, you know, we had a great launch. You know, as you can see that we had a very strong launch right here, and I knew that was going to happen. That had to do with me already knowing and testing those decent and winning products, and then when I lined them up with a store with essentially all those types of products, it just led to essentially very, very powerful upsells and cross-sells. So the first mistake I want to talk about is right in here. So you can see this big dip right here, and it's actually a 2-part mistake. And so the thing is, what caused it was an algorithm change. This is my first big algorithm change with Facebook ads that I had to go ahead and deal with. You know, I dealt with small algorithm changes for quite a bit of time before with other stores, but this is a first massive one. And what I had done wrong was I didn't diversify. You know, I teach you guys that you should go ahead and diversify your ad streams. Don't just do Instagram influencers. Don't just do Facebook ads. Don't just do Google AdWords. You need to go ahead and do a few. Do, I would say at least 2, if not 3 or more. One, you're gonna have, you know, quite a bit more sales and profit because of it, because you're having sales coming in from different streams, but you're protecting yourself when one of them, you know, either your account gets shut down, there's a big algorithm change, whatever it is, you're protecting yourself from not making money. And so that's the big mistake number 1, that if I could go back and change all over again, I wouldn't have just been doing Facebook ads during that time. I would have already diversified. Now, what I did after that was, 1, I focused on how to beat the algorithm change, so I did. So my Facebook ads kept coming back in. But then I went ahead and really dove in hard and learned Google AdWords. And so what I did at that time, now I protected myself if Facebook ads, had a big algorithm change again, I now had Google AdWords up and running. So definitely go ahead and diversify. All right, so the next mistake you can see right around here, and this is actually another time where I made two mistakes. So the first mistake I made was I got complacent. So one, I had other businesses I was focusing on. I've got my marketing agency, I've got other drop shipping stores, and then I've got a big project that I'm working on now. Not to mention I've got YouTube and all that stuff that started right about that time. But what happened was that I didn't keep focusing on this store. I got complacent with it. I've had the same products on this store for a while. I occasionally go back in and add more, but what I used to do is I used to be doing product research all the time for this store to be adding better, more innovative products in this niche, and I stopped doing that. Not only did I stop doing that, I stopped focusing on innovating with new ads, and so, the big point here is I got complacent. So guys, when you start making money, you get successful with this, which I know you guys will if you stick with it. It took me a while to get to this point. This isn't my first store. I've had other stores, and I have other stores that are successful. That's why this was able to come out of the gate running hard. But you guys will get this if you stick with it. But my point is, once you do start making money, don't get complacent, guys. And this doesn't just go with dropshipping. This goes with whatever business you're in. If you get complacent, that's how you die. That's how any business dies, is complacency. And as you can see, it really started to die out. I was really struggling with this store, and it was completely my fault because I let the focus go. I had focus on other businesses and everything else. I let the focus go. So the other mistake that goes into this, and this is a big one, and this is my biggest piece of advice for beginners, I was testing too many strategies. So what had happened there was, there's a big algorithm change again. And so instead of me going back to the basics, going back to what has worked for me for almost a year now with other stores, with this store, what's been taught to me by my mentors, instead of going back to the basics, doing that, following the ad strategy that has worked for me for so long, I started listening to other people on YouTube. And I started listening to so many different strategies and not focusing on my own, that I was essentially, losing out on sales that I could have been making if I had just gone back to the basics. So, my big piece of advice for a beginner is be careful how many people you listen to, and be careful with who you listen to. There's so many people now doing great numbers with Shopify Dropshipping, and so they're making YouTube videos about it and all that, which is great. You have all this free information that I didn't have back in the day. I was pretty much forced into taking thousands of dollars worth of courses if I wanted to get it, because that's what was available when I started in this game. But now, there's a plethora of information out there. There's a handful of people that really know what they're talking about, and they've got great advice that I even, listen to and like their content. But there's quite a few people that essentially don't know what they're talking about. And not to be disrespectful to them, but they've only been having a profitable few weeks or month or 2 months, and that's great for them, but they're not at the point that they've solidified a strategy that's really working. They need to have more time in the game. So if you listen to these people, you are putting yourself at risk. They might have a great strategy, but they might not. Same thing goes with people that don't know how to do big numbers. There's quite a few people that have really produced very, very solid numbers. James Beatty, he's a great one. The real Zachy, I love Ari Skurson. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Ari, he's a great one. But there's a lot of other people that essentially haven't proven themselves. And, they need to come out and do that. But until then, be careful with who you listen to, and guard yourself from bad information. And with that being said, limit yourself on how many people you're listening to. Definitely have your handful of people, but don't be listening to 10 plus different strategies, because then you're never going to truly learn one, focus on one, and test one. But if you guys can go ahead and have your handful of really good people to listen to, you guys are really winning right now with the amount of information that's out there on YouTube. So moving forward with this store, as you can see, really ramping up things again right now. What has happened is I've gone back to the basics. I'm following the ad strategy that I've had now for almost a year now. That's worked insanely well. And you know, I've got other things in place with this store. So, you know, my original goal with this store was to do $1 million within a year. It doesn't look like that's going to happen now, but I really think within 15 months of this store being open, we'll hit $1 million if things keep going the way they're going. So I'll definitely keep you guys posted with that. But, you know, you guys can do this, and you guys can do so much more. Avoid the mistakes I made, and you guys can kill it. I know you guys can, and you know, it's not that hard to do. You just need to go ahead and focus on the right things. Alright guys, I hope you found some value in this video. If you did, please leave me a like. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. I'm here for you guys every day to help you guys. Leave down in the comments, you know, if you've got any questions about things I did right or things I did wrong, let me know in the comments. I'd love to go ahead and answer your questions. I'm here for you guys. Keep grinding, y'all, and I'll see you in the next video.